Now that I think about it, I guess you could apply. Maybe it's not going to be a potion. Maybe it's going to be like a spell, and maybe you can apply it to any of your abilities. I was thinking like when it was a potion, like you couldn't apply it to your abilities. You could only apply it to yourself. But I mean, everything else in the game you apply. You have that option of application. Um, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. But we have some time before we figure out whether how we need to implement that. Today. uh, what am I doing? What am I doing? This. So now we have our button prefab. So like. Oh yeah. I mean we. Oh yeah. Do we have a concept of? I know we have a concept of our UI with regard to. Where is it? We have a concept of our UI with respect to like these actual like button positions. It's how we click on the UI. I swear that exists somewhere. Oh, it's down here, way at the bottom. But I don't think we actually have a concept of the UI itself, like the. Where is it? Oh, it's in this thing. So, it's, like for example. Oh, yeah, this UI object here. So, I mean, I guess we could just put all of these on the camera. These could all just be parented to the camera instead of to this UI object. Although, no, I don't know. I'm gonna add the concept of the UI itself, I guess. I'm just gonna punch it in at the end. Yeah, so I'll add in a 10th game object to this thing, and it will be this thing. Because, yeah, when we introduce a new button, we'll want it. We'll want it parented to that. Right? I mean, and yeah. I was just thinking, like, is that where I want it to live? And I guess I don't care. So yeah. So now we have our prefab, and we have our UI kind of dimmed out a little bit so that we can work with it. We don't have the event by which these appear. So for starters, I'm just going to make them appear at intervals. I think it's actually going to be based on your like as you bust up these mobs, as you like knock them around, you get points, and then I think it's like going to be based on your progress. Excuse me, there might be some variability to it, because I love me some random values. We'll see. For now, it's just gonna, as like the same way we're just spawning mobs and spawning allies, it's just gonna occur at intervals, just like every now and then. So let's copy what we're doing here, basically. So if spawn next button, I guess. Alright, so yeah, we don't need to do that. Actually, I don't know. We might have like buttons. I have like, how many buttons? What is the most buttons you could ever have at one time? You can have the 3 buttons along the bottom, which represent the 3 abilities. I think the 4th thing for the hero, like the square for the hero, I don't think is actually going to be. Oh yeah, I don't think this is actually going to be a button. So I guess I can leave this at full size. Because that is it. It's inert. Like pressing it doesn't do anything. It's only there so that you can drop things onto it to buff your hero. And so the most buttons you can actually have at any given time are the 3 along the bottom, and then the 5 along the top. But then I don't know. I know for starters, like as soon as you like drag an icon, drag a modifier down and let go, 8's going to disappear, and then the next one's going to come in from the side of the screen. But at some point, I might want to change the timing of those animations. I might want the next one to slide in from the edge of the screen before this one fully disappears or something like that. So I'm going to give myself a buffer of 1 extra. I'm going to say that there's a maximum of 9 buttons at any given time. And I'm going to refer to those buttons. I guess. Why not? So, yeah. We have our mobs, and now we're also going to have game object, array, buttons equals new game object. I can spell it, I swear. 9, I guess. And then I'll just remind myself that that is because. Whoa! What? That's funny. Oh no, mobs type. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Okay. Sorry. I just got distracted by something that I thought was funny, but it was actually quite mundane. I'm reminding myself that like 3 abilities plus 5 pending or available plus 1 buffer. So now we have buttons, and we can say when we're spawning new whatevers, we can say, oh yeah, spawn, I forgot to put that in, but we can say it's less than 9, I guess. I could do buttons.length in case I want to change it later. Buttons.length. So if buttons I equals null, then buttons I equals instantiate button prefab, I call it button prefab. I guess it doesn't really matter where we spawn it, except that we'll want to spawn it off screen, I guess. And then I don't know if it matters, because we want to there'll be some logic as to where it will actually appear, because if avail 0 slot is filled, then it'll appear in avail 1, etc., etc. So button prefab new. Is origin like a thing? Can I just say like can I say it spawns at like vector 3.origin? No, that's not a thing. Alright, fine, whatever. 0, 0, 0. No one cares where it appears. because so we want to transform. We want to parent it to, what is it? UI dot length. I don't think I'm gonna change the. I don't think I'm gonna add more buttons, but I could. I don't know. Maybe if I don't like how many available appear at the top of the screen, I might want to add more or less. So I guess I could instead of just filling up the top row, I could have them like just fill up the entire screen, so that if you don't use your modifiers, like it basically like forces you to use your modifier. But that might be a confusing interface. I mean, it might be confusing for more than just the intended confusion factor. Alright, so once it's parented, then we want actually to translate it to where it's actually supposed to be. So, well, first we have to choose where we actually want it to be. Oh, and let's make spawn next button a thing, so it stops yelling at us, or it stops sitting there glaring at us. Where are the spawn next? Yeah. So spawn, float spawn next spawn. I can do it. Sorry. Spawn next button equals 0. Actually, let's start it at like 3, so that way it doesn't happen instantaneously. Or no, it will be better for testing purposes if it does happen instantaneously. So then float or public float. Oh wait. Yeah, whatever. So then public float spawn period button equals, we'll say it 3 f. There's not really a limit to how many modifiers you can have queued up. So we'll need a separate concept for how many modifiers you have pending. Which I guess makes sense. Actually, that's good in a way, because then we can just associate our buttons to that, all those modifiers that we have queued up. And I guess maybe that will be a finite amount. Like maybe oh yeah, no, I know how we can handle that. Actually, oh no, you know what? Actually, maybe even we don't need. Maybe this is sufficient, because, like, if you have a modifier off the edge of the screen, like, like if you have one there, quote unquote, we don't have to. Like, it's off the screen, so like what it is, or like its very existence really doesn't actually have to be defined until it enters screen, because until it's on screen, the player has no mechanism to interact with it, and so it's like Schrodinger's button off to the side. I am running low on water, and my throat is a little bit scratchy, so I'm probably going to take a quick break in a moment. Not immediately, though. Actually, I'm going to take it now. Alright, I will be back very soon. I will be back super soon. I'm just going to fill up my water bottle. I will be right back. back. I did it. I got water. Yay. Yeah, Bobby. So, when we last left off, right, we were spawning. We were spawning buttons. So I guess we can keep track of the let's keep track of the ability bar and the let's keep track of the ability bar and the available modifier bar separately, like in terms of like what they actually do for the game. So let's keep so let's say so int, oh yeah, so hypothetically I kind of want the player to be able to rearrange their abilities on the bar on the bottom of the screen, and also like the modifiers, I want them to be able to, like when they, so like the player doesn't start with abilities, hypothetically the player starts with an empty bar at the bottom of the screen. And when they get abilities, like they'll come in, like as will the modifiers and the potions, and the player can put them wherever they want. I think they'll probably always get bombs first, and always get dash second, and always get the ultimate third. But I think like it's up to the player which order they want them in. So yeah, like I have it hard coded presently that like the one on the far right is bombs, and then the next one's dash, etc. But I don't necessarily want that to be the case overall. So we need to keep track of which of those the player actually configures to be which. So down where we have the other UI stuff, let's say int int array power, so button power. This will refer to 0, so indexes 0 through 2 here will refer to buttons 0 through 2, or what did I call them? I called them something. You know, the it'll refer to like 0, 1, and 2, and then it will have an integer. It will also have an integer 0 through. Actually, yeah, I guess at startup I want to indicate that. I don't want them to, because they'll initialize to 0, but I don't want them to actually initialize to 0. I want them to initialize to like -1 or something. And that's because 0 would indicate bombs. So for example, if button power 0 equaled 0, that would mean that like we have it, this button is bombs. I don't know if it's really necessary, but maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should just force. Well, no. Oh no, I remember. It was for like left-handed players, because for right-handed players, like if they're pressing these buttons with their thumb, which I guess they won't be. I guess you kind of have to play this game with your index finger. No, you don't have to. Like if you're playing this game on an iPhone or like something that's about that size. Well, actually, I guess the meaning of size there changed recently. But if you were playing this, like hypothetically, you could play it with your thumb, I guess. And then if you play it with your thumb, then handedness kind of matters, and so it's more convenient for if this is the. I don't know. I'm not certain I won't do it, so I'll at least consider it. And then maybe change my mind later on. Alright, so yeah, so right, and so then on start, let's say for int I equals 0, I less than button power dot length I plus plus. What? Are you over there? Um, oh, right, because I forgot to close this. Yay. So button power I equals -1. So then, what else? So then, oh yeah, so let's also keep track of I guess we'll keep track of what button. You know what? Maybe we should separate the button. This buttonsy thing, too. Maybe we should separate it into abilities and like what was the? I feel like I established this naming convention. They're called POW and avail. So maybe I should, maybe instead of just keeping buttons. Yeah. Yeah, alright, I like this. I think. Let's see how this goes. So, I like my new idea. I like this other way of doing things that I just came up with in my brains. So actually, we'll call this slot power, I guess. Right. And so it'll be slots 0, and I guess slot pow is more consistent with our naming conventions. Our super fastidious and perfect naming conventions. Okay, so slot pow. And then, right, so instead of buttons, let's have slot buttons. And those will also go, so there will only be 3 of those. And then let's have also game object modifier or avail buttons equals new game object, and this one will be 6 because we wanted 1 extra. 5's avail plus 1 extra. So yeah, so the new stuff will always get spawned into avail buttons. Where do they get spawned? Into avail buttons. And then when they get dragged down, if they were a modifier, they'll get destroyed because they get used up. Or if they're a potion, they'll get destroyed. But if they're an ability, they'll just get plopped over to, or moved over to the other thing, and then we don't have to keep track of them here anymore. I think that's how things work, right? I don't know. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how things work. Avail. And look, dot length, and we change the length and everything, kind of, whatever. So right, and now we need to keep a concept of the contents of the avail bar. So slot pow and slot button. So avail, let's say int 0 or int array avail contents and that equals alright, that equals new int, oh no, that equals new int 5, because only 5 are on screen at any given time. Or do we need the 6th one represented here? Yeah, no, we do need the 6th one represented here, if we're going to use it. Maybe for now we should just say we're not going to use it and then worry about it later. Yeah. I changed my mind, as I'm prone to do. We're only going to represent the 5 that are at any point visible on screen. And if you just tuned in and you don't know why I keep saying there are 5 here, it's because there's actually one that just like peeks in from the corner. Like if it was full size right now, you'd be able to see, you'd be able to see that it like peeks in from the side, but we shrunk it down and now it no longer peeks in anymore. Actually, yeah, I guess we can just bump it up until it like peeks in a little bit. 0.3 or 0.4 is probably fine. That's enough difference to differentiate between the small ones and the big ones. Okay, so yeah, there's one peeking in from the corner, and these things that we can see here will disappear once we don't need our guidelines anymore. We'll basically just take the mesh and mesh render components off of these guys. So yeah. Yeah, so there's one slight difference here, is that slot buttons correspond to slot buttons correspond to specific positions I guess they don't have to. Slot buttons could correspond to specific positions though, whereas avail buttons don't. They're always going to be in like a weird order. So right, so for the avail contents, I was gonna start listing stuff out, because like, I mean, I guess I can just skip 0 because it'll initialize to 0. So I can say like 1 equals bombs, 2 equals dash, 3 equals the third power, pow 3, I guess I'll call it for now, or pow 2. I don't know, 3, whatever. 4 equals strength increase. 5 equals speed increase. 6 equals actually, I guess this doesn't have to correspond to positioning either. I guess it's actually, I'll have to decide whether this corresponds to positioning or whether this corresponds to the buttons. Alright, so yeah, this strength, speed, range, 7 equals I know this one. Strength, speed, range, multiplicity. Oh man. 8 equals potion. So probably, I don't know, that might change, but so now available contents. I guess available contents should probably correspond to available contents should probably correspond to the buttons. And actually, so I'm gonna call this slot pow slot pow buttons. And actually, I'm going to call this one slot pow contents. So slot pow contents, slot pow buttons, avail cont. Oh no. Yeah, no, that's silly. So slot pow buttons, avail contents, avail buttons, and slot avail buttons, right? That's the other one? Wait. Hold on. Forget slot pow and slot pow buttons. Avail contents, avail buttons, and slot avail buttons. So in slot avail buttons equals new in so yeah. So slot avail buttons, this will be avail type, not avail contents. This will also be 5. And so then, so slot, we don't need as many of these. We can just say slot pow buttons. Yeah, that means the same thing. No, wait, no, it doesn't. Wait. Sorry. Okay, so slot avail. Okay. Slot avail is the slot avail refers to index of avail buttons. And then avail type also refers to the avail type. Yeah, avail type and avail buttons use the same index, whereas slot avail uses a different index. Okay, so now let's use similar naming conventions. So so avail. So pow buttons. So okay, pow buttons is a thing. And then maybe they should. I want them to follow the same like general organizational principle, but they also work very differently. So maybe I shouldn't force it. I should at least get the naming conventions right. So avail buttons, avail type. Why is it? Oh, whoops. I used the wrong brace here. So yeah, I'll kind of follow the same conventions. Whoops. So we'll have pow. So yeah, this refers to index of pow buttons. So yeah, so what slot pow means is that slot 0, so index 0 refers to the index of the button representing the power in slot 0. And we need a veil type, whereas we don't need pow type, and that's because, wait, do we? Yeah, I guess we do. Alright, I lied. Pow type equals whoops, new int 3, and we already know what the pow types are. 0, because that's we've already been setting up around that in our power activation block. We have pow 0 is bombs, pow 1 is dash, and pow 2 is the one that we haven't decided yet. Good. A lot of like musical chairs going on with this system, and I think now we're fairly well prepared to keep it all in order, though. I guess it's kind of like the mob targeting systems, like when you use other arrays to index as indexes, when you use the values from other arrays as the indexes for etc. Alright, so let's spawn those buttons. Spawn buttons. Button spawn. So we don't care about this. Oh wait, we do. We just, yeah. Avail buttons. So, right, yeah, the reason we can't keep these all in the same order, the reason we have to get prepared for them to shuffle about, is that players can use modifiers in whatever order they choose. Like if they, hypothetically, if they have like a speed modifier, and they know that they want to use it on like bombs, but they haven't gotten the bombs power yet, they can just sit on the speed modifier until they get bombs, and then use it on the bombs modifier. I don't know what it means to use a modifier on an empty ability slot. I was thinking on the one hand, you could just like have them attached to the first ability to take that slot, but I'm thinking probably not that. Probably just not that. Like nothing. Yeah. I just probably just won't support that action. So avail buttons I dot transform dot parent equals UI length dot transform. So we have them parented to the correct thing. We don't have them in the correct position yet. So what we'll want to do is figure out where the button goes. It's probably the first one we know will go to avail 0, but we don't know yet if this is the first one. So how do we determine that? We say, we say int index equals 0, and then while while slot avail 0 not equal, while slot avail is greater than or equal to 0? Okay, yeah. Those things we all set up will initialize to 0, but we need them to initialize to something else because 0 is a meaningful thing instead. So we'll just iterate until we find an available slot plus plus idx, and actually no, we'll want to use we'll want to use a for loop because we'll only want to iterate over it once, and we're starting at the beginning anyways. I don't know why I did it that way. Okay, so actually for int I equals 0, I equals 0, I is less than slot avail dot length I plus plus if slot avail I equals -1, then oh wait, yeah, we did need idx equals -1, then idx equals I break. And then it's possible, what column do you have here? Oh, we're inside an I loop already. So IA, I guess, or IS for slot. Oh, whoops, IS is the word is, and that doesn't work. So SI. I was like, why is that turning green? SI. Yeah. And then so now we know what slot to put it in. Oh yeah, I'm a silly person. We want to start at the start because slots will always fill up from the start, and like hypothetically, hypothetically slot 1 could never be full if slot 0 is empty, because if slot 0 were empty, slot 1 would hypothetically slide down to slot 0. So and then like hypothetically I want like I want these to animate, so like when you move one, like the rest will like literally slide down, I guess, maybe, but we don't have to worry about that yet. So the whole slot avail buttons, avail type, or slot type, or no, avail type, that's going to get super fun super fast. I don't have to worry about avail type yet because we don't actually have different types yet, but once we do, we'll have to like pseudo randomly determine that, or randomly determine that, come up with some way of deciding which one it will be, and then assign like the button. I think like buttons probably are all going to, buttons might, I think buttons will all be the same, and then I'll just like swap their texture or material based on what they represent. So it'll show like the correct icon for each one. Maybe the color as well, I don't know. Now we know what slot the new button goes into. Right, so, right. The slots, the index that we just came up with corresponds to our UI setup, specifically the way we have this set up here. So these are currently they're like game objects with meshes, but they're like the little dots we're seeing, but they're only really, I mean, I guess at some point I can just change them into vector 3 instead, because yeah, actually that kind of makes sense. Eventually they're really only going to, these guys will only actually mean they'll only mean like where these buttons are supposed to sit. So, that's interesting. For now, should I just convert them over now, I guess, maybe? Yeah, maybe. So, yeah, why not? So, UI stuff. Where's the UI stuff? I thought I was just looking at it. Here's UI pressed. It's at the very bottom, right? Or there's other stuff below it. Yeah, it's right above UI pressed. I'm just a blind person, I think. It's literally right here. Alright. Oh, I get distracted by button radius. Alright, so instead of that, let's say public vector 3. Vector 3 UI equals new game object, or let's call it UI pause. Or buttons pause. Slots pause, I guess, would be most consistent. Slots pause equals new vector 3, 9. I am going to keep track of the, I'm going to keep track of the square under slots pause. It's kind of a slot in that you can drop modifiers onto it, so it'll operate like a slot in that regard, and then not in the other regards. So new vector 3. Yep. And then, actually, I had extended that to include public game object UI. So I'll need a new one for that. And and I'd been using UI because I'd been setting the parent to equal. Yeah, you don't like that, do you? Oh, right. Yeah, that's something. Okay, so sorry. Where's the? Oh, it was further down. Yeah. All right. This is the one I was thinking of. So it's actually just UI now dot transform, because UI is now the shell, the hierarchical empty game object that we're using to group the other ones under the main camera. And, right, so this is oh, it hasn't updated yet because of the errors. Fine, I'll fix the errors. So, slot pause. And then, we don't need to use local position anymore because I'll set the positions, I'll set the vectors in local coordinates. So this will now just be slot pause, whoops, x, yeah. And like, at some point I'll probably finish this bottom section, which is like just a slightly smarter way of looking at the same thing. If UI render enabled, oh, yeah, no, now you mean, oh, yeah, right? So this is actually going to be a little bit different because this is going to mean, this is going to be for not UI.length anymore, but like slot pow.length if not, but not whether it's enabled, but if like yeah, if slot pow not equals -1, and then the rest of this stuff. Yeah, the other thing that I'm remembering that we need to do is we need to initialize this stuff to -1. So what is it? It's pow type and then it's also avail type. Or I guess I said avail type wouldn't use 0, but I probably lied, just for consistency, or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I don't care. Whatever. Avail type, and then of slot avail. Slot avail. Okay, so those are all -1. So oh. Yeah, I guess that would have been a reason to keep I guess that'd be a good reason to keep it's a pretty good reason to keep those all together in one group, but nah, this is fine also because that still works the same. And then I can just say oh yeah, I have to say alright, well this is slightly more awkward because I have to say I have to manually punch in, what is it, 3 is the square that represents so if 3 return 3, and then I need another for loop for not slot pow, slot avail dot length, and then these have to return I plus 3 or 3 I plus 3 and then right, slots avail. Wait, slots or slot? Is it slots pause or slot pow? Wait. Oh yeah, slots pause. Right. It's slots avail and it's slots pause. Oh, you're right. And these are all I plus 3. So I guess I should just do... No, I should just do I plus 3 for all of them. All of them. Yerp. That's not awkward. Oh, slot of veil. Alright. That's probably good. And so now I can change the thing with the stuff. What? More errors? Where? Prove it. Slot pow. Oh yeah, slot pow I. Slot avail I plus 3. No, I. One more? Where? Wait, slot pow? No, this isn't an actual condition. This one's just always on. There's never a point where that square just disappears. Happy? Better? Good. Thank you. Finally, I can update my slots. You're the worst. So, have 0. Can I just like... Stinking quaternions? Why are you so weird? Why you so weird? Quaternions. Can I just like copy all of this? Copy... No? Can't copy that? Can't copy all of that? Alright. This is the least interesting thing I've ever done in the history of my life. So pow 0, I'm pretty sure that's actually supposed to be 0.8 quaternions. Oh, yeah, and actually, so one thing that'll say, oh god, scroll faster, scroll down, stay scrolled down all the time, forever, always be scrolled, always be scrolled. Oops, that was something. Okay. Yeah, these are all 4 at negative 2.8, so at least that's not as awkward. However, the rest of them. Oh, and this is at that position. I'm sorting. So these are all at position 2. So that's easy enough. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the x values. Please just like jump by 2 or something sweet like that. Please like let the next one be like negative 1. Please. Whatever. 4. Oh yeah. So at 1.6 and 2.8, I guess is the last one. That makes sense. 1.6 and 2.8. Yeah, look at that. Alright, so good. So good. And then, oh yeah, UI. This whole thing is that. And I guess I could actually delete these at this point. But I'll just turn them invisible and say, get bored of them. Oops, wrong button. Save that. Data entry tedium. And yeah, wow, this is probably like the most action-packed that this stream has ever been. Like, all this like unraveling of like subtle array nesting and tedious data input for precise coordinate arrangement. I'm tempted to just take a break and like press buttons again. Just make bombs go off and dash around. But just you wait and see. Once this UI system is all set and looking great, you're gonna be so psyched. You're gonna be so psyched. So psyched, I promise. Oh god. Actually, oh yeah, I know one thing I'll do. I'll put this print back in the click print. So yeah, let's print UI pressed. Why are you indented like that? Oh, you are indented. Oh, I just never indented you. Okay. Print. Yeah, UI pressed. Wow. I think my brain is like low on brain right now. Alright, let's see if this works. 0, 3, 3, -1? What? What are you doing? What have you done? 3? Why 3? Did I have that backwards? Is POW 0 this one? No, the numbers would have been different. Yeah. POW 1, POW 2, HPMP. Yeah. That's weird. Alright, so I clearly broke something. I don't know what though. Yeah. It's always just returning like -1. Oh, I can take out that other print. Yeah. Let me get rid of that. So we fix that one. Solving problems is what we do. Yeah, so that was neat. So now this one returns 3, as if I'm pressing HPMP. This one returns -1, -1, -1. -1 means I'm not pressing any button. Ugh, alright, so what happened there? Oh, right, because they are all initialized to 0. And so I don't know why it thinks slot pause 3 is this one on this side. Maybe I accidentally dropped a negative sign. Yes, I did. Totally dropped a negative sign. Oh, whoops, I dropped it from the wrong side. Alright, so yeah, that explains that. Alright, the world is good again. Save that. Alright, and we found that stupid error, so alright, let's slot. Yeah, so we were initializing those, which is good. We'll want to do that eventually, because we will want empty buttons to return -1. However, for starters, let's make sure these still work. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8? What? Really? Why do you not work? Why do you not not work. I mean, I guess that's good. I actually didn't want it to work, but I thought I set it up so that it would work. Alright. I'm morbidly curious as to why it doesn't work. Slot avail.length 3. Am I supposed to be adding 4? Yes, yes I am. Right? Because that is also returning 4. Oh wait, no. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh. No, I think I'm supposed to be adding 4. What happens if I add 4? Four, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, alright. I am a silly person. Alright. Bombs. Oh, yeah. I meant to... Wait, I thought I tuned... Oh, I probably tuned down hero power... hero impact during play mode. No, I didn't. I tuned it down outside of play mode. But he still just, like, kicks things super far. Wow, yeah, he does. Alright, so what if you were even lower? What if you were, like, 0.05? And you were, like, 0.1? Alright, well, that's probably too low. So that's, like, not noticeable. How come we're not spawning allies anymore? I don't remember disabling that. And again, I don't remember a lot of things. So wait, so what if you were like 0.2 or like 0.15, I guess, and you were like 0.7? How would that work? And also, what's that? Oh, am I accidentally spawning? Oh, I'm spawning buttons. Right? Is that a button? Is that what we're seeing right there? Oh yeah. Yeah, we're totally spawning buttons. I remember that. Yeah. But then we're not spawning allies anymore for some reason. I don't know what that's about. Okay, we can take out our button print again. So why did we stop spawning allies? Did I screw that up somehow? Oh, yeah. Because I'm screwing it up somehow? Oh, right, yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay, no. Spawn next. Button. Plus equals spawn period button. Alright. Buttons. Buttons, look, buttons. All the buttons. Yeah, look at those buttons. There's some buttons. Whoa! Those... Oh, 0.7, not 0.07. Yeah. That would explain that. It's getting a pretty good score, though. Okay, so, yeah. Alright, how are things looking now? Better? I mean, buttons everywhere, of course, but come on. Who doesn't love buttons everywhere? Why does it get so dramatic at 3 versus 2? 2 seems okay. And then 1 for you guys? Yeah, alright, that seems fine. So 0.2, 0.1. And our buttons work, that's cool. Bombs. Dash. Buttons. Buttons, 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 buttons. Alright, we should do something with those buttons. Now that we can, it is well within our prerogative. Within our grasp, I dare say. So, why does my dashboard always say offline? That's weird. That creeps me out. Oop, quiet though. Quiet. Quiet. Shh. Okay. Sorry, I was just on my other computer. Yeah, just a few things. This is me looking at the camera. This is me looking at my workspace. This is me looking at my other computer. This is me looking at chat. This is me looking at myself. Because I have a little picture of myself in the corner. I have a little feed of the video in the corner. So I guess maybe that's good. Maybe I don't need to bother with, like, watching the feedback. Watching back the feed as well on my other computer. Alright, a brief aside. Alright, so now we're making buttons, and we're now poised to put those buttons in a sensible location on their spawn. So let's say avail buttons I dot transform dot local position equals slots pause with the index of idx plus 4, because remember our available slots start at 4, and so the conversion from slot underscore avail to slots pause is idx plus 4 dot, nope, that's all, slots pause plus 4, idx plus 4. Now we should see our buttons fill in from left to right. Wow, that's not right. Where's the next one going to appear? Same place? Oh, right. Oh, right. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so we're actually only doing this okay, yeah, we're deactivating our UI again because, well, I'll just deactivate avail. I won't deactivate POW because those are fun. So then the thing, we're only doing this if IDX is greater than -1, because if it's still -1, then that means there were no available slots, and we have to wait. Oh, which, yeah, funny thing, that's not all we have to wait on. We have to wait on pretty much all of this. So, yeah, there we go. So now we should see the buttons. Hopefully we'll see these buttons fill up from left to right, and then it'll stop. Right. That would be the case if we were indicating that, avail buttons, slot avail IDX equals I. So, yeah. Now that thing that I said. Yeah. Oh. I think the reason the things were so huge is that we're not resetting the scale. So So let's say avail buttons I dot I guess I'm doing this slightly backwards, but whatever. I could have put the other for loop outside, but whatever. Okay, the buttons transform dot scale. No, scale. Scale, not local scale. I don't care, whatever. Local scale equals new. Wait, what is local scale? It's a vector 3. Okay, so I thought vector 3 0 0. No, not 0 0. I always 0 out scale when I mean to reset it to 1. And then so avail buttons I dot transform dot rotation equals quaternion dot identity. So, or local rotation, is that a thing? Local rotation, yeah. Alright, let's see if that doesn't help. Because we want the buttons to appear in the right position and the right size and everything. Look at that, they're filling in. Look at this, we're getting modifiers, and we can drag those modifiers down to the bottom of the screen. So actually, yeah, now that I think about it, there actually will be visual representation of at least these ones. So I'm going to put these back up to 1. I'm also going to change the texture to a texture that I have not used in some time, my ring texture. Yeah. I guess, I mean, I guess that's fine for now. I'll probably want to change that at some point to, like, something better. But, yeah, I want it to be clear that, like, there's a reason. Oh, yeah, I want it to... Right, I want it literally to... I want that UI to be consistent. I don't want it... I want players to get used to having the bottom UI usable, and then I'm going to have it become unusable once they're... Or, like, I don't want them to get used to the bottom, like... So if these buttons returned -1, they would they'd be usable for, like, navigation, but I don't want that inconsistency. I want from the start, like, I mean, if you want to turn around, you click here. That was my intention. You basically click behind your dude if you want to turn around, or you click over here if you want to turn in that direction. I never intended, like, you can technically use this space, but I don't. Like, this space is primarily for activating powers, so I want that to... Look at that! Sorry. Just amusing myself. Scooping dudes. So... Yeah. Whoops. I was clicking there. Is the roundest thing that was, like, still super noticeable. Okay, so oh yeah, maybe those other values are okay. The I was just thinking about, like, I was just seeing dudes get kicked really far, and I was thinking, like, that's weird. But then I remembered that, like, these guys don't change targets unless they have to, so they were probably just kicked. No. Nah, whatever, it's fine how it is. Okay. I really shouldn't be worrying about that stuff, considering I still haven't done anything in the way of a balance pass, so... Alright, so yeah, cool. Alright, we have we have yeah, we have our buttons spawning in, and anyway, the one thing I didn't check is that it stops at 5. I assume it stops at 5 because it really should. 4, 5, and then done. No more. No more spawning of that stuff. Perfect. We did it. Ship it. Yes. So now, what? Now we can have them draggable, I suppose. Why not? So now we can say, yeah. Now we have new toys. Oh wait, actually I didn't check whether they the buttons became clickable. So -1, -1, -1. Oh yeah, I kind of. Okay, well yeah, I guess that's right. Because if yeah. So this clearly is not a button yet, because if it was a button, it'd stop responding to those clicks. Alright, and then, so then presumably, I didn't put the notify back in, or the print back in, but presumably, what is it? UI pressed, UI item at is now returning those things. So UI pressed, that's yeah, that's persistent. So case, yeah, more cases for days. Case, I don't need a case for 3. Case 2, because case 3 only matters on, it doesn't matter on button down, it only matters on button up, because button up is when you're dropping something, button down is when you're clicking on something. And there's, I don't know, maybe I'll add a reason to click on that at some point, but not right now. Case 3, no, that's the case that I just said that I didn't need. Okay, case 4, break. Case 5, break. Case 6, break. So I need 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. Do I need 8? I don't think I necessarily want 8. I want 8 to peek in from the... I want this to peek in so that you know you have more power-ups coming, but I actually don't want it to be... I don't want you to be able to grab that one and drag it down. I want you to have to pick from these 4 in order to get access to that one. Maybe? I don't know. I might change my mind later, but... for now, anyways... let's just do 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, I guess I could have just done a default case for that. Probably. Oh, excuse me. I don't even know what I'm putting there. I guess, actually no, I could put in a case 3 and then just put in a default case for the rest of them, but, I guess, UI dragging. Or I guess I could just use pressed. Nah. Cool. Dragging equals false. So then for in cases 4 through 7, oops, yeah, not just UI dragging, but equals true. I might as well let case 8 work too. I should really be using a default case for this. I'm a silly person. Alright, case 3 break. Alright, and this is just default. Because we only get here if UI pressed is greater than or equal to 0. We don't have to worry about the negative one. So if UI dragging equals true, so then UI pressed right, so if pressed and UI pressed -1 else if UI dragging if UI dragging, I guess I might as well check that UI pressed is greater than -1. Or I could just get rid of this silly pressed thing that I don't know what means. Yeah. Pressed. You're weird. So what? So yeah. So if UI pressed equals -1, then just that one thing. Else, if UI dragging, we know that UI press is not equal to -1 in this case. So let's say, oh, how do we do it for? For bbox, we drag stuff around, and I think we did it by keeping track of like pool or no vector 3. Yeah, vector 2. What comes back from UI item at int? Wait, no, not UI item at. What's the other one? The one that we used to click on stuff. Or the one that we used to convert to screen coordinates. I swear it exists. I swear I'm not making it up. Oh, here we go. Yeah, screen to UI pause is vector C. So yeah, vector 2 last UI pause. It doesn't need to be anything at first. So UI dragging equals true, last UI pause equals UI point, and then alright, so now we know how to translate our UI stuff when we're dragging it, because we know what was the last UI position, and we can check what is the current UI position. As such, So we will get our new vector UI point, and we can say what? We can say my Tumbly's getting a bit grumbly, and if you may have noticed that I've been a little low on steam this afternoon, so I will probably I'll get stuff dragging around so as not to be anticlimactic, and then that'll probably be the last thing that I work on today. So yeah, let's get that working. So last UI pause. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I'll just take a break, and I'll just take like another brief break, and like cram food in my face a little bit. I hope that's not too rude. Maybe I'll keep going. I don't know. I usually only go till 6, I guess, but I'm still also trying to figure out what my schedule should be, so we'll see. We shall see. So last year, okay. So now we want to move about our the thing that we're dragging, whatever it is that we're dragging. We know that what we're dragging is the we know that UI pressed is the slot of what we're dragging. So if so slot avail UI pressed -4 in this case is the conversion. UI, what? What don't you like about that? Oh no, UI pressed. Yeah, UI pressed. Okay. Yeah, so slot avail UI pressed. And then this is what button avail buttons. This is the avail button that we're attempting to access, I hope. Let's try that. Avail buttons slot avail UI pressed -4 dot transform dot position plus equals. So we have last UI point, we have UI point. We want to take UI point and subtract last UI pause. Oh, but those are vector 2s. I wonder if that works. Are you going to be okay with that? Do you mind flying that? No, you don't like that. Not a fan. Alright, so I guess I could just make these vector 3s instead. No real harm there. So yeah, vector 3 screen to UI pause. Return new vector 3, where this one is always 0. Save. Now what are you mad about? Presumably something. Oh wait, you're only mad about ambiguity? Whatever. Did I save this? Wait, what's ambiguous about that statement? I don't think there's anything ambiguous about that statement, especially because we're not. Oh, yeah, that is still a vector C. No, it's a vector 3. Ha. Oh, wait, and then also, of probably want to turn this into a vector 3. Save that. Is there any other? Yeah, vector 3. Vector 3, vector 3. All the vector 3s. Yeah. Oh. Am I setting? Yeah, I'm setting last UI files. Yeah, okay. Good. Good. How about that? All better? Super better. Let's see what happens. Zoom! Zoom! Oh, yeah. I know what we're forgetting. We are forgetting to update last UI files. Equals UI point. Alright. So we did see something though. Something's better than nothing a lot of the time. Alright, look at that. Way better. So much better, right? So much better. Oh, local position. Not doing local position. Okay. Sorry. Local position. Alright. Save that. How about now? Can work now? Yeah, look at that. Look at that. I mean, now basically. Oh, yeah. Well, alright. Alright, so we'll have to keep on. We'll have to. No, okay. We'll keep. Right, so we don't want to. If we're dragging something around, we want to keep. We want to reserve that spot. We don't want that spot to get taken. So we're not going to unset. We're not going to unset the one that you're dragging. However, when you mouse up, if when you mouse up, else so else if UI dragging. Let's return in parentheses. So else if UI dragging, let's put our button back to where it started from. And that can be achieved by setting the local position equal to what is it? Slot avail. No. What is it? Slots pause of UI pressed. So now we don't have the ability to drop the buttons on these ones yet, but when we let go of them, they'll at least go back to where they started. Yay! I think I should work with these too. Yep. Yerp. Huh. What? Oh, I just missed the button. I was like, why is that? Okay. So cool. That's something. We're getting there, making progress. So yeah, one thing I noticed is that we were these shadows were sometimes clipping over the stuff that we were dragging. So I'm gonna bump their Z back to like negative 0.2. What? Oh yeah, it's actually 0.2. Oh, but that like sets them back in space too, so that's fun. What would it look like if our camera were not were orthographic? Oh wow, that's amazing. I want to play this game. Wow, look at that. That game sucks. That's so funny. Look at that UI. Yep, that's how big it is. Alright, yeah, I miss orthographic when you could just like cheat Z with stuff like that. But Alright, so you'll clearly have to do something different for those. Although I guess for now it doesn't matter if I just do that, because like who cares? Point one. They're a little bit smaller and a little bit offset, and they'll get a little bit bigger and a little better onset when you drop stuff onto them. Sure. Oh, it still happens. Oh, because the rotation value, maybe? I don't know. Really? That's weird. I guess maybe I won't have those little shadows there. Just, I don't know, I kind of wanted them. I wanted them to be there. Maybe there's like some trick I can get to make them draw in the back. I don't know. That is funny. Funny stuff. What? Yeah. What? Oh wait, no. Their position got. What? Why is their position changing? Look at that. You go into play mode and it changes. It's supposed to be 0.1. Weirdos. Oh, but it does still. Man. That's weird. You're weird. I assume Quaternions are to blame. Quaternions are like weird stuff. They're like dark magic. No. What? Why are you doing that, you weirdos? They're getting set to 0 involuntarily. So like, fine, 0.5. I'm gonna like noodle you around some stuff too. See, like that. Oh my god, you're the worst thing. You're the worst thing. What is wrong with you? Oh, I'm probably doing that. Maybe? Get child. Child. No? Okay. No, that's just... I don't know what that is. I have no clue what that is, and it's annoying. Alright, so there's hypothetically some distance I can put them that will hopefully work how I wanted it to work, how I was hoping it would work. But apparently the game is not going to make that easy. Why do you... You're not even addressable, and you're not... Yeah, sure, save. Wait, no, cancel. Yeah, let's undo. There we go. Save that. What on earth would be causing that? Maybe this is a good breaking point. Because, cripes, if I know what's behind this one. I could spend a lot of time trying to figure out what the heck is causing that. A lot of time. Anyways. Wait, yeah, I'll try one thing real quick. What if, copy and paste. What if this one was at a weird location? Would this one also get reset to a... What is resetting you? What is resetting you? Quit resetting yourself. Quit resetting yourself. So what if I just added like a random other game object? Like a sphere. What if the sphere was also in here? What if the sphere was at like whatever coordinates? Would you also get relocated? If you're at a different Z coordinate? Wow. No clue. Not a clue what that is about. I mean, it seems like something I would do. Slamming things to be like, oh, I know, derp. I don't know why I'm so smart. Or, that thing that I am sometimes. So, right, get rid of the sphere, because that's useless. Copy you guys, drop you here, and then put these things back to 0.4, I think we have that. 0.4, 0.4, 0.4, and then also set your materials back to what icon? And let's see if that works. Or, oh yeah. I don't know. So you further back. Are you also gonna get? Yeah, you don't get oddly repositioned. Yeah, but you are just like a little bit gross. Again with like the rotation stuff. So weird. No clue what that's about. But also make you further back and I don't know. I guess I could just like kind of get you mostly situated in like basically the correct area. Actually, let's see if this even. Alright, so that's good in terms of like not getting clipped over. I don't know why I'm bothering with this right now. This is all pretty temporary. But I don't know, I guess I just like a lot of times I say things are temporary and then they turn out lasting for a long time, so oops, sorry. My face is really close to the camera, that's awful. Yeah. I guess they can all have the same Z height, right? Or the same Y height, right? Which one seems like the best height. I guess this one seems pretty well situated in terms of height, so and what if this one were like, if this one needs to go slightly in this direction, and I think this one does too. I don't know, something like that. And then also bigger, I guess. 0.25, so how about like 0.3? 0.3. What? No, 0.3. 0.3. 0.3. I wonder how that works. Look at that. Perfect. Perfect. And by that I mean good enough. Alright, so now we can add this stuff. Well, not HPMP, but we can add the rest of the stuff. And hey, look at that. Hey, look at that. And then one last thing. for this temporary dragon whatever stuff system, etc., etc. So if yeah, set up another conditional here. Else if so vector int int UI over or UI at equals UI item. I don't know what your problem is. Item at. Then how do I do that? UI item at. Oh, just UI point. Oh, a UI item at this. Yeah. There. And then if UI at is greater than 0 and UI at is less than 3, or no, greater than or equal to 0, less than or equal to 2, then let's just destroy the oh yeah, and when we destroy a void destroy button button index, yeah, int button index. Yeah, let's make sure we clean up when we destroy a button. So if we destroy a button, we will destroy that button. Destroy BI. Oh, not BI. Destroy avail buttons. BI. Because we don't actually destroy power buttons. We only ever destroy avail buttons. And then, so what? So avail, oh yeah, destroy that, and then slot, wait. Yeah, slot avail. Oh, yeah, no. For int I equals 0, I less than slot avail dot length I plus plus if slot avail, avail I equals button index so if this was the slot of our button that we're destroying, then slot avail I equals -1, it gets reset to -1, and then slot avail, And then, okay, so then finally, slot, or no, avail type equals, or avail type bi equals -1. Bam. Oh. Alright, so now we can destroy buttons and they will get cleaned up. We can destroy them tidily. Destroy button. Yeah. Is that how that works? Which I need like 2 R's, too many R's. Let's see if that works. But cannot convert it into bool. Equals equals, it's always equals equals. Yeah, look at that. Boom. Boom. Totally works. If we let multiple stack up. Oh, the other thing we need to do is if we want to, yeah, we want to slide down the other ones if we destroy one. So like if we destroy this one, we don't want it just to remain blank until it fills it again. We want the others to slide down. So I said we had one last thing to do, but we actually have more than one last thing to do. Alright, so what? So yeah, if that happens, then for int I equals 0, I less than slot avail dot length -1. I plus plus. So in order to slide them down, we're going to start at the beginning. Actually, I guess we can start at. I guess we can start at UI pressed -4.